Welcome to episode 7 of the Fitasylum Podcast. I hope you have enjoyed our previous episodes, and if you have, please leave us a review. Simon, welcome to the podcast, and let's introduce you. What is your current role?
Yeah, thanks for having me here, Dec. So my current role is a fitness tutor and assessor. So quite new to the role, really enjoying it so far, doing a lot of shadowing this month and last month, picking up a lot of things, but yeah, it's going really well.
Awesome. And professional history, tell us a little bit about your background and how you've come from education to the professional life and to this point that you're at now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, where to start?
It's always a fun question.
Yeah, I mean, I'm never good at talking about myself, but yeah, basically from the age of 13, I've been in love with the gym, fitness. I even remember I had my appendicitis, so a bit of a major surgery, and I put on quite a lot of weight. Yeah. And my father, he got me like a punch bag. I remember looking at it thinking oh, what am I going to do with this? And he put it up in the garage, and he had some weights. And then from there, my passion and love for fitness sort of started from that day. I was training my mates in the garage, personal training, without even realising I was doing that, because I'm sure you can relate, Dave.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, that's definitely relatable. Like you're PTing without even knowing you're PTing.
Yeah.
So you're 13.
Yeah.
You're in your garage, you've got your boxing bag and you got your weights. What does a typical session look like for Simon back then?
Oh, it was quite messy. A few of my mates used to smoke and all sorts, so they'd be working out with the worst form unimaginable,
As we've all done when we start out.
But it was really good. Because it just I got bitten by that iron bug, I thought this is something I really want to kind of move into, move forward with.
Nice. What do you think, at the age of 13, what do you think you fell in love with then about training?
It's funny because if you look at today, everyone's, they go to the gym, they try and eat healthy. Well, most people anyway.
Yeah.
And people sort of start to realise, probably in the past 5 years, the importance of training and exercising and how it makes you feel good. Whereas when I was 13, 14, obviously I don't want to sound like a fossil, but it was it was on people's radar, but people weren't really into it, like they are now, especially if you look at Instagram. But when I used to work out, I used to obviously, didn't know it back then, but I feel much better because obviously my endorphins were lifted, my serotonin was, the chemical in your brain was being released. So it was, from all the exercise. So it was good, and I just loved the way it made me feel.
So how did that lead us then from 13? What was the next big step for you, personal training wise, or just getting into training? What was the next thing that happened that seems very obvious for you?
Yeah, so I went to college.
What did you study at college?
Media.
Media? How funny is it that we're doing a podcast and you studied media? What made you want to do media?
I think I was a bit lost because I was 16, 17, didn't get the best grades because it wasn't the right time of my life. I was messing about. And then I went to start this placement called E2E, which is Education to Employment, which is in Preston.
Is that similar to a apprenticeship then now?
I think they've closed down now, but yeah, I think it was basically if you perhaps got kicked out of college or, you perhaps don't know what to do with your life, they kind of bring you in under their wing, get you on a few courses just to bump your grades up, but also put you in a work placement. It's not quite an apprenticeship.
So did you work within the industry of media and get paid?
No, it was, I was on Preston FM, so I did that for a bit. Yeah, it was good. It was good fun. And then I thought, right, I'm going to roll with this because I'm liking it. Went and did media BTEC, national diploma, studied that, completed that. And then I was like, right, what's next? But I was still along that sort of journey. I was still working out. I was still reading up about it.
Going to the gym all the time.
Yeah.
Were you still PTing your friends? I probably.
Yeah, but just giving
workouts.
Advice.
Yeah, that sort of stuff that we all did. Awesome. And then, so you've gone through college. And then what does your next step look like? Did you go to university?
I did, yeah. I went to UCLan and Blackburn. Just decided to jump on a physiology and anatomy course. Rolled with that. And then I thought, right, I'm really liking this. I need to work on my craft, get better. So try to jump on 2 or 3 courses a year, and just try to continue that professional development.
Awesome. So how did you go from media to like anatomy and physiology?
I think it was, I was speaking to a few friends, and I took like a bit of a gap year because I was like kids repping, and I was speaking to a few friends at the time, and they were just saying like the media industry is very hard to get into. The jobs that are going aren't very well paid, and they're like far and few between. So I just thought, as much as I enjoy it, what's always been consistent in my life is training. I thought, well, I need to master
Pursue
this.
your passion, I guess.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So then, what did you come out with once you finished at UCLan and Blackburn?
Yeah. So I came out with a degree. I was also, whilst I was studying the degree, doing level 2, MVQ, like standard fitness instructor course.
Nice.
That rolled onto personal training, and then I was like doing lots of CPD courses on the sideline, whilst working and whatnot.
Nice. What did you do as a job when you was at university?
So I started off Windsor World of Shoes, living the dream.
Wow.
And then I kind of worked my way up. I became like a support worker, and then from there I managed to work as like a personal trainer for the Marriott Hotel in Preston.
Nice. Is that's up at towards Billsborough Way, like Broughton Way?
Yeah, not
nice.
too far. And again, just like working on my trade. And after that, I thought, well, I want to do a bit of traveling, because I was like training as a bodybuilder, which was pretty hardcore, because I was like working out 6 days a week. I was preparing for this competitions.
Nice.
Wanted to break world records, and I did that for about a couple of years. Working bodybuilding.
So how long did you work at the Marriott as a PT for?
I think it was like 6 months.
Yeah.
Because like the Marriott was like the last hurrah. Because I wanted to go like traveling.
Yeah.
Work as a kid,
So it was like to basically build up some money and funds and then go traveling.
Yeah, and I just thought, well, working as a kids rep, you're not going to be able to, there's not going to be a gym, you're not going to be working out. And I didn't want to build, all that, build some muscle, lower my body fat for nothing. So I thought, right, I'm going to, at the end of the 6 months, I'm going to do like back-to-back bodybuilding competitions, try and do some world records, and just try and like have something to have for the rest of my life to look back on and think, oh yeah, I smashed that, or I did this, and then like go and travel around the world and party.
Awesome. So tell us about stepping on stage then.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, the first competition I took my mum. Yeah, that was something else, and I liked it because it was the NABA in Southport, and they were very much strict on weight, and if you were a certain weight, like I think it was 75 and under, and then it went up like to 85 and under, 95. So clearly, if you're 95 kilograms, you've got 6% body fat, and you're like 5'10", you're going to be taking something to enhance that. Whereas for me, it was more of a fair level playing field, entering the under 75 kilogram sort of category.
Awesome. How did you get on?
Yeah, won my first one.
Oh, wow, amazing.
Posing was so bad.
Was it? So had you had any posing coaching leading up to that?
I did afterwards.
Or very little.
I just flexed the mirror. I thought that'd be good enough. It was such a bad move.
I think bodybuilding has progressed a lot since then, though, hasn't it?
Oh, massively. Yeah, I think even that. Like when you look at, say, Miami Pro, which is like for like male, fitness sort of type model look. Yeah. It's not bodybuilding. It's just more like
the physique look.
Yeah. I mean, if you look back like 5 years ago, it wasn't really that well known, but now it's like
it's nearly getting as big as the actual Mr. Olympia, isn't it? It's getting up there. Men's physique, like Bumstead now is massive, isn't he? And he's
a lot of inspiration to a lot of younger people now, which is quite nice.
Which is fantastic. And I think the industry has grown a lot recently.
Yeah.
Like you said, probably about 5 years ago, it started to really take a big boom. But it was definitely on an upward trend throughout that period. So you've stepped on stage. How many times did you step on stage?
At 5.
5 times?
Yeah.
Wow.
I did it all back to back, so I thought I need to get it all done.
Nice.
Did like the Cambridgeshire Classics, Miami Pro. I did Southport a couple of times.
So was Miami Pro in Miami?
No, I wish it had been.
Oh, wow.
No, it was it was in Hertfordshire, just above North London.
So 5 shows, you won your first one. How did you get on in the other 4?
Yeah, it did okay. When I did the NABA, it was quite nice because I had a guy I used to work with. He was top bloke, and he was just there by chance. And he's called Matt Grimshaw, and he's just won a few competitions for like being natural, and I think he's got the world title. So it's quite nice to have him there. I could hear him in the crowd like saying, "Go on, Simon."
Oh, that's so really good,
yeah.
It?
But it was a different level. Like some of the guys, they're absolutely huge, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no chance winning. But
so where did you come? Like 5th, 6th?
I think I know I didn't come 3rd because I think after the third place,
just,
really,
that's it. Yeah.
Which is
they just pick 1, 2, and 3 usually, don't they, out of the lineup?
Yeah, but I know in Miami Pro out of 300 I came 6th.
Oh wow!
Which was good. But I was a bit miffed off about Miami Pro because you know when I said about NABA being quite strict on weight and whatnot. Yeah. With Miami Pro, they said like, oh yeah, you know, here's your application. This is the certain amount of weight you need to be. And when I arrived, like they weren't weighing people that were clearly weren't 75 kilograms.
Yeah, we're in your category.
Yeah, which you know,
it's in height, isn't it? Usually height and weight.
Height, weight. I mean, I even remember saying to one guy, "Oh, were you 75?" And he was like, "No." And he was like, clearly 85, 95, but you know,
in the same height category.
Yeah, or the same weight, you know, same height, but it's just one of those.
That's annoying. So then you went travelling after that? Where did you go travelling? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, all over Europe. Went to like France. That's where I met Mrs. So did Eurocamp. That was really good fun. You know, like being a kids rep, teaching kids, you know, games and playing with them, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. A lot of messy nights.
Nice. I can imagine on Euro reps. And how long did you go travelling for?
On and off, probably. Maybe 6 months, 6 to 9 months. Yeah, nice. It was good. Yeah, it was good fun.
So when you came back, what did you do?
Well, I came back with Becky, and we lived in Preston for a bit, and took the plunge to move to Manchester, and that's when I really got into like personal training.
Nice.
Worked for a guy called Jamal, and he set up this company called Jag, and he was basically renting out spaces in the Hilton and the Lowry. So in the heart of Manchester, and I was just doing like back-to-back personal training. It was a lot of fun, nice. But hard work at the same time.
Yeah, I can imagine intense. So how many sessions would you be delivering 1-to-1 per day?
So I can tell you what time I started. So I'd be doing anywhere from like back-to-back PTs from 6 till 1 p.m. and then back in until like 4:30 or 4 o'clock till 9 p.m. So, wow. And then obviously in between that, I was doing the sales, the marketing, chasing the leads, doing Instagram posts, all that, and then obviously planning sessions.
But that's what a typical day for a PT may look like.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah. I think it's a bit different when you're working for someone else, but I think if you work for yourself, you can sort of say, choose. Like, yeah, I'm going to have a day off here, or I'm going to...
So could you not do that? Were you do 5 days a week?
6.
6?
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, it was quite... And then my missus was pregnant, and she was like severely pregnancy sickness. And so basically on the Sunday, she'd be bedridden, and I'd be like catching up on errands. And
oh, wow. So it was kind of like, quite a busy lifestyle at that time.
It was, yeah. It was... Honestly, working in central Manchester, the buzz, everything, I got to meet a lot of famous people, a lot of bloggers. I wouldn't be able to tell you their names, but they told me. I wasn't really into social media back then, but it was such good fun, and it was a real learning curve, very steep one.
How long did you do that for?
I did that on and off like a couple of years, and then unfortunately the company dissolved.
Nice.
So yeah, long story short, Becky and I decided to take the plunge, move down here, worked at Chester University for a bit, personal training like clients of, you know, at the university, like, you know, staff, students, and then got a job here at Fitasylum.
Nice. That's quite a good little professional journey there. Lots of different experiences within the PT industry.
Yeah, definitely.
And if we're looking at the PT industry in particular, what do you think's developed over the last, like you said, 5 years? I would say it was on the upward trend in the last 10 years, really. Yeah. What do you think's developed? Why do you think so many people want to be personal trainers? Why do you think, like you said, in the last 5 years, people have taken their health more seriously? What has changed?
I think social media.
Social media is a massive one, I think, for body image.
Yeah.
I think personally the biggest change has been like science though. Like people are actually getting good information.
Yeah.
Like I know when I was younger, people would read something in the newspaper that might say, "Oh, salt's bad for you," and they won't eat salt forever.
Yes.
You know, and then they just stop eating it completely. Or they might read something that said, olive oil's bad for you, and then they'll just completely cut out olive oil. And I know like my parents, grandparents are still like that to this day. Like if they read something in a newspaper or see it on TV, they'll just take it to the absolute extreme.
Yeah.
Where realistically the headline might have been, salt is bad for you, but if you read into it, it would be like if you had more than 5 grams a day, 20 times a day.
Yeah.
It's always the headline that's very dramatic, and I suppose the idea of that is to drag you in.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Where social media now is kind of, one, it's helped hugely dispel a lot of those myths, but it's also, I think, created a little bit of a problem for itself where a lot of people are just showcasing their best version of themselves. And I know a lot of people are looking at good lighting and just making sure that they look really good on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or Twitter or whatever social media it is, where that might not actually be the case.
Yeah.
And I think the other one is, like you mentioned it before about enhanced athletes. A lot of them might be selling programs saying, "Oh, come and do this 8-week program and you'll look like me," but realistically not telling people they're enhanced.
Oh, it's, it drives me up the wall that, I think a lot of them are getting called out now.
Yeah, they
YouTube.
do, don't they?
I think Simone Panda, he's been called out and he did not like that at all.
No.
And I get it, obviously it's a bit of a double-edged sword for them because there's no transparency, and if they were honest, they'd probably lose a lot of sponsorship. But if they were honest and just said, "Look, I do take this is why I look like X, Y, and Z, but if you train the way that I recommend, you could get maybe near that, but you're not going to look like me, but you're going to get near it or close enough." I think that would go a long way, but it's just one of those, isn't it?
No, 100%. I think, is it Liver King that recently has been called out for it and it's not gone down well?
Wasn't he spending like 10 grand a month on all sorts? I think
supplements.
That's what got leaked, the email with his doctor or something. Someone was helping him.
Yeah.
I think.
It is crazy now. But like you said, I think it's been called out more. And I think over time, there'll be more transparency.
Yeah.
Because I think if you've got 10,000 people training in a certain way and they're not getting the same results as this one guy or girl, then they're going to be like, "Oh, well, something's different."
Yeah.
I think the other thing the industry has changed in is there's more accessibility now to content, information, and gyms.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people hate on the budget gyms, like Pure Gym, but I think they've give accessibility to a lot of people. Like I know when I was a student, it was quite expensive to go to the gym.
Yeah, definitely.
Thankfully, like the on-site gym was really cheap. But I know a lot of students, especially if you live in a city, they probably won't be able to go to the university gym just because they won't have the capacity. Yeah. Where these budget gyms will offer them that availability to go and train in a gym that's adequate but doesn't cost a lot. Yeah. So I think that's a big difference. And I think, like you said earlier, a lot of younger people are getting into fitness earlier now. Yeah. And they're able to do the research and studying because they're able to get hold of content and information very easily or a way that works very well for them, such as, social media, YouTube, the internet, where I think back in the day you would have to read a book. And as we know, a lot of PTs are probably not the most academic people. So I think doing the research for them would be very difficult, where now it's a lot easier to take in information and, I guess, share information as well.
I think, just to add on to that, Dave, I think if you look at YouTube, for example, a lot of PTs will get their knowledge and their insight on other successful fitness influencers. But the way these fitness influencers now are coming across in their videos, like the way they can edit them, the way they get that information across is so much more detailed and thorough compared to like 10 years ago. So like the topics at hand, are more varied online, like YouTube, when it comes to like nutrition, fitness, health. Whereas obviously if I was, getting a time travel machine, go back 10 years ago and look on YouTube, there'd be probably not much on fitness.
And the information will probably be incorrect.
Yeah.
Where I think as now the information is a lot better, but there's also different sources of it. So like where one person may convey the information well from their point of view, you're also getting other points of view and other, I guess, research standpoints.
Yeah.
And you're able to decide where you learn best and take that information that kind of suits you best. So for instance, there's like a certain YouTuber that I resonate with really well and I learn well from him.
Yeah.
But I've sent that on to students, and some students don't like that style of, presenting information. So it's really interesting. So just trying to go back and help students, what was your first experience of the industry of going into personal training?
Yeah, it was, I mean, going back probably 2013, 14 maybe. It was probably a bit of a shock to the system because I didn't have like YouTube. I wasn't, so I
no
didn't
apps like True Coach to help you out.
Yeah.
Or MyFitnessPal probably.
No, and I think it was quite hard because obviously I was learning off other PTs who didn't really know what they were doing. Learned previously from other personal trainers that again were probably stuck in their old ways. Fossils that thought like don't eat salt and you should eat like a rabbit, and it doesn't work. But when I went to Manchester, that's when I started learning about like body transformation. Started doing my research, looking at actual like literature studies, going through my notes, making sure that I'm programming well and to the standard really. And it showed because obviously, the company got some really good transformations.
And it did really well. That's awesome. And have you done any online coaching? And obviously that's the biggest change in the industry, I guess, over the last 3 to 4 years is online coaching has become really popular.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not regulated too well at the moment, but over time it will become regulated. Yeah. And I think it's great for people, again, to have an affordable way of coaching.
Yeah, I think so. And you can reach a broader audience. And I think the beauty behind online coaching as well is that some people might find commercial gyms quite intimidating. They might not be able to afford to go to a private studio. So if they can work out from their own comfort of their home, their own home, it's going to be less daunting. It's probably a bit more convenient for them, and they can work up that confidence once they get fitter, stronger. They know what they're doing with the help of a professional. Then they can, eventually go to a commercial gym.
I think your results are always a little bit quicker when you get a coach.
Yeah,
always.
100%. Yeah.
And if we're just wrapping up episode 7 of the Fitasylum Podcast, what is one tip you would give for students currently in education?
Yeah, I'd probably say my major tip would be just, like I know we were saying about the beauty of the internet, and now there's more information than ever on there, but it's very easy to read the wrong information. So just make sure that whatever you're looking at, literature-wise, that it's backed up by studies, facts, to back up those claims, because you don't want to follow, some person that's selling, snake oil or pseudoscience or whatever. You want to make sure that what you're learning and reciting back on your course, or learning just for the sake of learning, that 1, it's factual, and 2, it can be backed up.
I had this when I was at university, actually, that sometimes I'd read information or studies and be like, this can't be correct.
Yeah.
But I'm very lucky that I had a couple of mentors that I went and tapped into and be like, Nick, is this correct? And he'd be like, yeah, that's right. Yeah. So it's really good. I guess, have a point of reference, maybe have like a research platform that you really trust in or believe in, or have a mentor that you can kind of go to and double check.
Yeah.
Finally, I would say maybe even go and do your own research and try it out, and see if it works for yourself.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And then one tip for professionals currently in the industry, whether they're on the gym floor as a PT or if they're working as an online coach.
I'd probably say one tip: don't stop learning, because if you stop learning, you fall behind on the latest trends. Perhaps something that you thought did work has been debunked. That'd be my number one tip, is just keep learning, keep jumping on courses, whether they're free, whether you pay for them, because there's loads of online free courses. Granted, they're not that great, but they're free if you can't afford them. If you can afford them, come to Fitasylum, come to whoever, someone that's reputable and knows what they're talking about, and continue the education.
Just as a shameless plug, we do have a free CPD platform now available through Fitasylum Academy. So if you do want some free education, feel free to drop us a message and we'll send you a link and how you can sign up for free. But thank you very much, Simon, for joining us on episode 7 of the Fitasylum Podcast. I hope you enjoyed being a guest.
Loved it, yeah, brilliant.
What do you think of our setup?
I think it's really professional. I wasn't expecting this at all.
A lot of people say that when they come, but no, we're here to stay, and we're here to keep providing lots of free content and information for everyone who listens. So thank you very much, and I hope you're enjoying the podcast, guys.